Okay.
Elizabeth, am I on yet?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay, because I'm still seeing the out of the boat icon on the screen. Is that correct?
Yes, and we can still see you as speaker.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm happy to be here today with my committee. I am the chair of the USDBF Breast Cancer Paddlers Committee that has these wonderful people on the committee that you're seeing now. Elizabeth Anderson, who you just heard from, is the person who is one of the partners who are behind the Out of the Boat presentations. We had the first one in November, and this is our second one. And she talked about big dreams, the YouTube channel, and things like that. And I couldn't be prouder of the work that our representatives have done. I'd just like to introduce those representatives to you now, coming from the western region of the country, Western Pacific region. We have Annette Johnson. Annette, can you wave hello so they know who you are? Okay, Annette is our USDBF representative, and Cheryl Litchwick is our USDBF representative from the Midwest. Cheryl, can you give a wave? Say hello to everybody. We also have Joanne Moore, who is the IBCPC and the USDBF rep, and she's from the southern region of the United States. So Joanne, and you may know Joanne from Unleash the Dragons, the very successful program that just happened in Sarasota, Florida in January. Joanne, would you give a wave? So they know who you are. And Linda Dyer. Linda is the IBCPC and USDBF rep for the eastern region of the country. And Linda, would you please give a wave? Thanks. And I'm going back now to Elizabeth Anderson, who will continue on to conduct our wonderful program today. Excellent work. Thank you.
Thanks, Betty.
Right.
So yeah, we are super excited that over 42 of us are here today, representing probably, I'm assuming, almost every BCP team, which is amazing to all come together and share ideas. And that's how we grow our sport and make our teams more successful, and we can touch the lives of more cancer survivors. So this is amazing. So today, we received numerous recruitment ideas, and so that's so exciting. And we want to thank the teams that took the time to share a few ideas from their club. So we can obviously everyone's time is valuable. So we selected 6 teams that had not presented before. So we're trying to keep it as fair as we can from our first session. And the speakers, they'll be given 5 minutes. And then at the end, after all 6 have presented, then we'll do a Q&A, and Annette will keep track of in the chat. You can put questions in there. And of course, at the end, I mean, you can verbally ask too. We know how with chemo brain questions come up quickly, you know, so we'll do a great Q&A at the end too. Just thank you to the teams also who, you know, you might not hear from today, but what we do, we're also trying to put all the ideas on paper so we don't lose them. And then when we send the link to the video, we will also share the recruitment reference guide. That's what we're calling it. So it'll have everyone's idea that was submitted. So that's really neat. And then we will continue to grow this every year, add new ideas, and you know, please share it with who on your team will benefit from it. If you're, you know, the president and you have membership chair or a committee, you know, share who you think that will benefit. So that'll also come. So that'll be important too. So our first presenter is Linda Dyer from Dragonheart, Vermont.
Hi there. My name is Linda Dyer. I'm from Dragonheart, Vermont, from Burlington, Vermont. And I guess I'm the founder and the Dragonheart Vermont Sisters coach. So for lack of a better word for what I'm offering as a suggestion, I'm calling it direct oncology connection. And it's a very simple idea, but it's been, I think it's been a good idea for us, and maybe it will be for you as well. when Dragonheart began 21 years ago, we had a borrowed boat and my next door neighbor, and that was it. And with each day we were out on the water, we were gaining more and more people, so that by the end of the summer, we knew we had a great idea and we wanted to continue it, but we had to give back the boat, and we didn't even have a full boat of breast cancer survivors yet. So we began thinking about ways in which we could grow both our breast cancer survivors and the money that we would need for a boat. In terms of recruitment, we began to think about ways in which we could tap into breast cancer survivors. And because we're in a small city, we didn't have breast cancer survivor support groups. We had a American Cancer Society, but they were all about fundraising. So we had to think outside of the box for how we could recruit. And what we thought about is going directly to our doctors and nurses, to our medical oncologists, to our radiation oncologists. And more importantly, we thought, as we're telling our stories to these doctors, but who has the most access to the breast cancer survivors? And it's the nurses, the front staff people, the PAs, the NAs, so that we wanted to be able to tell our story to all of these people in the hospital that have access to breast cancer survivors. So I called up the radiation oncologist receptionist and asked if I could have 5 minutes of their weekly staff meeting. And they were very
Linda?
very nice about it. They were unsure at first, but I told her to receptionist. Yes? Is she Elizabeth?
Your screen had frozen. It sounds like the internet caught up. Sorry.
Okay. Is it going now? Okay, sorry. So I better hurry up. So we came prepared with a plate of homemade cookies. We had our brochures. And because this is 21 years ago, we were still in the dragon what stage. We knew we needed something visual to say what dragon boating was, how this relates to breast cancer survivors and dragon boating. So we originally were going to do just a little photo a photo, just photos going by, but we were lucky the local NPR station had done a little piece on us. So we had this professional thing that we could throw on the television screen. It was only 3 minutes long, but by the end of the 3 minutes, they were captivated by what we were trying to do and how we could take those breast cancer survivors that they had taken from diagnosis through treatment and how we could carry on the process. They were very excited to learn more of what we were doing. We left them with brochures, and later on when we did this when we ran for 6 years, we ran a cancer a cancer wellness center. And we created a little prescription pad that we left for all the doctors so they could rip off the prescription pad. It had all our contact information of who we were. There's a little thing of, I didn't have it anymore, so I just had to do a cheap version without an artist's design skill. But, all the benefits of being part of a Dragon Boat team, improving fitness, building strength, reducing fatigue, increasing positivity, on and on. And with your team contact information so that they could contact you either by email, phone, or now you could put a QR code on there to do it. But we were very lucky. Not only were they excited to be able to tell our story and helped us to recruit, but they embraced our cause, and they started having weekly bake sales, and they had silent auctions, and they did all sorts of things to actually help us raise money for a boat that year. And not only did we raise money for one boat, but two boats because of this radiation oncology department. So it was a wonderful partnership. And when Dragonheart a few years later decided to have a festival, we made the radiation oncology department our pledge partner. And we raised enough money for an ultrasound machine that very first festival. So we felt like it was just a wonderful way all the way around for us to be helped by them by sending breast cancer survivors our way, and for them to help us with that and with helping us have a boat and continue on. So reach out to your medical oncologist, your radiation oncologist, even if you don't have a hospital in the area that has those separate departments.
Linda,
Go into.
oh, go ahead. Yeah, unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm over my 5 minutes. I'm very conscious of that. I'm sorry.
You're so sweet. No, that was amazing. You did fantastic. Thank you for that. And you'll probably have a lot of questions from the girls afterwards. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Moving on, our next presenter, the team is Paddles with a Purpose, and it is Laura. So Laura, if you want to unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon from Austin, Texas. Hope you're all enjoying your Sunday afternoon. I love the RX pad idea, Linda. That's awesome. That's awesome. So Paddles with a Purpose, we've been a team since 2019. Once we formulated or created ourselves a nonprofit 501c3, we went ahead and one of our members had some experience in grant writing and was able to, first we borrowed a boat from our sister team, Austin Coolers, and so we used their boat for a bit, and then we're able to submit request for funding or grant from Texas Oncology and a few other organizations. With those monies, we were able to purchase our first boat. This past year, we went ahead and purchased a 10-man. So it's been pretty exciting this last 5 years. So as a membership director, what we've decided to do is create one event. We do ask people to onesie twosies. Anybody's always welcome in the boat. We let them know, hey, even if you're in treatment, it's okay. Just come and sit in the boat so that they get the experience. But we like to try to have a group. So we select usually a group event in the spring and one in the fall. I personally like to stay a little organized. It's just the way my brain works with processes. So I chose to use, with the team's blessing, use Eventbrite. That way it could be out there. It's free. There isn't like there's to pay or anything. It's a free software. I go ahead and put the location, 3 different links for our liability waiver, safety waiver, and photo waiver right there, so they can fill out those waivers before they even show up. Put those links in right in the Eventbrite. Max it out at 16. That way we have 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So you got your pacers and a few in the back. And just try to keep it lighthearted and get that experience in. Our coach has been wonderful on being the steers person and the coach at the same time on those guest paddles. And even on the guest paddles, if we don't have enough people, they can invite their, maybe a friend or a neighbor that might have some interest, just to get the word out. And as far as getting the word out, we do also like what Linda had referred to as keep that communication open with the local oncologist and their staff. And I absolutely agree with the support groups. And full disclosure, I am a breast cancer patient navigator along with a survivor. So working with for Breast Cancer Resource Center here in Austin. So what I've done on my emails at the very end of treatment, I'll put right on my emails 4 different organizations for survivorship. So Paddles with a Purpose, Team Survivor, Moving Beyond Cancer Collaborative, And there's one more, I can't remember off the top of my head, but give people options to be active post-treatment. And so it's right in there. It's right in the email. So if you do, and then right in the groups. And so now when I facilitate groups, people will bring it up. Hey, I went to the guest paddle. You should do. It's really fun. It's a great group. So that word of mouth is really kind of taking off. So a few pictures from our guest paddler events. The other thing I like to do is once people sign up with Eventbrite, I go ahead and get them into a group text chain or group text, so that prior to the event, like a week prior, to build excitement and get them talking amongst themselves, because they always have the same questions, you know, what do I bring, what do I wear, those type of things. And then the day of, we have typically our practice from 8:30 in the morning till 10, schedule it at 10:30. Most of our team members will stay over, and we have different assignments. Some of them will be up in the parking lot greeting the ladies. Some of them will be at the docks, again, greeting, introducing, helping them with equipment, getting the equipment on, and showing them, giving them that full experience. A few taking pictures, so we always have pictures up to date for our website and things like that. Videos. We've got a woman on the team that's great with videos, so she'll make little shorts for different social media applications. And then I will follow up with it. And then we also provide them with a pin. Again, just something that they can take home and keep wherever, or share it, or give it to somebody else, whatever. People like to have things, so a little pin. And then I will follow up with an email thanking them for coming on out, and following up with those that are interested with a full membership application. It's all online. All of our documents are online. So, and then asking them, if they don't want to be a member, they can absolutely come on out for 2 or 3 times to, again, experience a couple times more before they make that decision and actually join a team and then purchase equipment. So the only thing, the next step with ours is that not only support groups, but then also want to get more, send out more flyers to get more involved with physical therapy organizations or businesses, because every one of us has gone through some kind of surgery, and most of us have gone through PT. So again, it's that end of their treatment, catching them at the end. So I think that's it. Let me hit my timer here. There we go, 5:54.
I love that. That's awesome, Laura. Thanks for this great idea.
Absolutely.
Our next will be from the Dragon Divas, and it'll be Mary.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see all of you, and thanks for organizing this. It's a great idea. I am one of the founders of the Dragon Divas, and I'm also on the membership crew. The way our organization is set up, we have groups that take care of different aspects of having a successful Dragon Boat team, and getting members on board is a huge part of it. We have, we're in our 20th year, so we have gone through kind of what Linda was talking about. We had to start with 3 people, and then we grew. We weren't even too proud to knock on doors when we're on the water. If we needed more people on our boats to put the boats out there. We have gone to breast cancer support groups and talked. We have delivered brochures to all of our physicians' office. We ask our membership to do that, to take brochures to their doctors and actually sit down and talk to them and tell them how important being on this Dragon Boat is and what it has meant to them in their health and survivorship. We also have gone to lymphedema support groups because that was a big place where we got a lot of our membership. I was actually, when I started the team, I was actually a physical therapist with a specialty in lymphedema. So I had a whole group of patient population that I could talk into and talk about what we had to offer as a Dragon Boat racing team and breast cancer survivors. More recently, we continue to use all those routes, whatever it takes to get people on our boats, we do it. Most recently, we have been doing a lot of community resource outreach tables. So if there's anything going on in our community that has to do with cancer, cancer care, breast cancer, any kind of cancers, we talk to the people that are running that. We ask if we can have a resource table, and that's where we distribute our information. So we have brochures there, like what's being shown on the slide right there. brochures about how to join us. We have posters that have our QR code on it, and that brings them directly to our website. And then that will also link them to whether or not they want to be a member on the team or not. After that happens, somebody gets that information and we call each person that inkles that they may want to join the team, and we talk to them about who we are, where we've come from, where we're going, what we have to offer, and then answer any kind of questions that they may have about joining us. I think that's just a really nice way of personalizing what we're doing. And then we set them up with somebody on the team that is their mentor, and that mentor guides them through the process of joining our team, getting them to the water and getting them on our boats. This year we had a banner year in our resource tables because we had Minnesota Public Radio did do a piece on us, and Alina Health. We partnered with them this year for sponsorship, and they did a video on what we do, and they actually had a drone on the water, so they had beautiful photos of us paddling, and we got a lot of interest in membership following that. But when I looked at, I think we had 26 new members this past year, and so we got them from all different areas, but most of them were from these resource tables. One of them was the University of Minnesota Survivorship Conference that we were at. And again, you just approach these organizations and ask and say, hey, we have this opportunity for our community. Can we be part of your resource and outreach program? Breast Cancer Education Association Conference, we were at a walk for our Minnesota Oncology fundraiser. We also had a resource table at our Mall of America in Minnesota here as part of the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, which was really fun. Lots and lots of people that come through and ask questions. I think there was like 1,500 of them in there. We also were a part of the India Association of Minnesota cancer awareness event. Again, that was by word of mouth that we found out that was going on. And again, we approached the people running it and asked them if we could participate. And our big thing is that we actually got a table at the Minnesota State Fair this year, and we had 5,000 people walk through the area that we were at and talk to our members. Again, it's telling your story, how it impacts you, that's really important, and then draws the people in. So that is kind of where we are. That was probably our biggest draw for this season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Those are great ideas. I love this informational table.
We always have a giveaway with our name on it. We always send them home with parting gift.
That's awesome. Very memorable for sure. Thank you for that. Next will be from the Heart and Soul Dragon Boat Club, and it'll be Roxanne.
Hi, thanks for having me. I hail from Indian Harbor or Satellite Beach, Florida, where it's really way too cold, but it should be warming up, right, Linda? We have tried past attempts to recruit paddlers by inviting them to a practice here and there, never seemed to work out. The idea arose to provide a 6-week course held twice a year, designed to build skills in dragon boat technique in an environment that's non-threatening or demanding. The first week starts out with a community paddle event, and we recruit people from our community through brochures, podcasts, speaking with our local oncology offices, pretty much what has been described already. We do that to help recruit people to this 5-week program. The cost of the sessions is $50 a person. And each week we have a practice plan where these connectors, as we call them, sit in boats with experienced members and who help with technique demonstration. The members that are attending the session do not bench coach. They are seated in front of the members, in front of the connectors, as someone that they can follow. On week 5, races between the boats are had for a fun competitive session. So the paddlers get not just that first week introduction session, and from there, if the dragon has bitten, then they have the opportunity to paddle and learn the actual skill in a 5-week session. And that 5th week, they actually get to participate in a race, which has really been fun. That $50 fee is actually applied to their membership fee should they choose to participate or join our organization. The practice plans were developed by many of our coaches on board, and we have the 5-week sessions are taught by several of the coaches on our staff, which all of this sounds really good. I looked at that roster. We have 61 members that actually are on the roster that came from a Connect program. So that sounds really good. There's a flaw, and we've recognized is that the primary flaw occurs when you have individuals with different levels of experience meeting for these sessions. It's like being in high school. You have the group here that they hang around with each other, i.e. our members, versus the newbies. It's like the new kid in the high school with no friends. What we are understanding or what we see is that we need to make that connection from the beginning between our membership and the connectors. And we are actually starting a new process, a new part of that program today at the second Connect session. And we have an individual who is assigning the members who sign up for this session, and each member is getting a connector assigned to them. They meet, they greet, they help them get the equipment, and then next week, the connector gets a new member. So in theory, at the end of 5 weeks, the connectors have met a lot of people, and we become a unit. We're hoping to see even greater retention from the connectors and joining our club. And we're hoping that this begins to keep these individuals, retain them within the club. And that's about it. I'm done.
Roxanne, that was great. I was texting
I'm
my
sorry.
kid on the call going, I love this idea. So that's great. Great idea, and appreciate you did a great job.
Thank you.
Here's some pictures from their Connect sessions. I should have clicked to the next slide, but I thought it was cute when Roxanne sent a picture. She said, "Happy new member." Right there, look at that smile.
Yep, she's joined.
Success, that's great. Okay.
Yep.
Our next is Eileen from Warriors on the Water.
Right. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm one of the Warriors on Water original founding members in 2009. The team was going through a rebuild this year, so a couple of us oldies came on. They call us the original gang. And right now, I'm happy to say we have about 25 active members, and we're going towards the second boat. And we are utilizing the regular channels of recruiting, being present at event and have some palm cards and trying to target the specialists and word of mouth. But since this was asked about, what different do you do, I wanted to share a trial that we did this year. This was my pet peeve, actually. I really wanted to do this. This builds on the fact that we are building a community, not necessarily a boat, because we found out that there are some members who really want to get involved and help us, but they don't have the time or maybe the physical ability or desire, or their schedules don't work. So we're trying to create a community around our boat that becomes our support or backbone as well. That, and also the other fact that we were casting a net, like putting on social media there, and whoever comes, and when they come in, as I think Roxanne said, it is from heart and soul. retention was low. Like they come and then they don't connect. Everybody's already like talking to each other and they just feel alone and they leave if you don't catch them. So we luckily have a total of the new about 8 members joined this year, like within the last 6 months, and we have 80% retention with our new system. We have a sisterhood program too, but I want to mostly focus on this session that we did. It was a small event. We couldn't market it properly, but it produced great results for team building. And also, I say 100% retention, but it's funny because only we were able to get 2 of our prospect members in. We were kind of communicating, but they hadn't come on the boat. So this was the first time they actually had interaction. We had a strong team presence. So actually, one of them is on the call today. I have invited Elise, and Elise is generous enough to join the call from Words on Water as a new member. She has been around for like 2 or 3 months and answer any questions you might have for a new person, like why'd you come or that kind of thing, if it helps anybody. So this thing, the concept of this was there's a lot of pink stuff floating around in October, and I personally don't like this pink yogurt covers. There's too much. I want to hide. Like, can you wake me up after October because I've had enough of it. And sometimes when I look into it, the organizations which are actually raising funds, it just goes to admin, whatever. So I said, there's nothing that is only talking to survivors. I'm not focusing on awareness. That's all over the place. So let's design something for survivors by survivors. Not supporters. They could come, of course, but the main goal was that. So we found actually a couple of kind of fringe talk speakers because I wanted to give some information that they could not easily find from their oncologists, the regular channels. If would you be able to, if you put the agenda there, would you be able to forward to that one? Okay, so this was our event. This is it's a big poster actually that we had. And on the right, you can see our clinical nutritionist giving, some lecture. It was, we had special t-shirts made. You fought the battle, now it's time to paddle. So we just have fun with it. So in essence, we had this clinical nutritionist who is really, almost functional and medicinal because he has medicine background too. He had very interesting information to give because he joins, all worldwide anti-aging conferences and cancer and MS. He's related to all. And then we had a lymphedema therapist who was very informative, who demystified it because in lymphedema, usually what we know, okay, the arm swells, lymph nodes are that they can't get up, but what's happening? So she explained it, kind of deciphered it to the individuals and answered questions. We structured this as a 4-hour event, half an hour lecture, half an hour question and answer and mingle. We had a cosmetologist, wig specialist, but she's really strong on essential oils, and she's actually at one of the cancer spas of one of the big hospitals in Orlando. So she had a lot of talk and she gave resources. Then we wanted to kind of lighten up where there was a chair yoga offered, and then Tibetan healing bowls by a musician, and we had also had some. We also had other vendors there. We had a cryotherapy. They just wanted to come and present. And we had a nurse navigator for one of the hospitals too, who was answering questions. And we had some offerings like really light refreshments and stuff over there on the board. But the thing was, would you be able to advance to my next photos? This is actually Elise in the middle. We brought the dragon boat there because we wanted to see how majestic she is. So we dragged her there. She's in the parking lot, and we had some refreshments that again made by our donated by our one of our members who is a chef. And then on the right side, you see our ladies having a great time at our informative entry table. And this whole event cost us $200. So that was really good. And like I said, Elise, who's on the join, and another member who has joined, they had a chance to interact and connect with the people on ground without being on the water, because then you're just on the water, you don't know what's going on, there's gators there, and you don't know what you're doing, you're feeling self-conscious, you don't have time to connect. So this put the connection in front. I don't know, is it? Yep, oh, I'm over my time maybe. So this was the event, Paddling Through Healing Waters, a toolkit for breast cancer survivors. So,
That was fantastic.
yep, so that's,
What a great
you know,
idea.
this is something different we did, and we're still toying with the idea of doing it again. So, yeah, and at least at the end, at questions, if anybody has questions for a new paddler who has newly joined within the last couple of months, you could, ask her. She volunteered.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Great job. And our last presenter is from Pink Phoenix, and that will be Meg.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. And a little shout out to some former Pink Phoenix members in the program today. Paula, Debbie, Leilani, I might be missing a few, but people might start at Pink Phoenix and then they might have to move and start a team in their new home city. Love that. And I liked all the other organizations who talked about connecting with their healthcare providers. We took it a step further. 10 years ago, we had a member who was pretty sick and her doctor told her no more paddling. She might break something. And she thought, what if I can get him in the boat? If you could just see how healing this experience is and being around all of you is for me. So I'm like, well, that doesn't sound that hard. So we invited a healthcare provider paddle. At first, we were targeting just medical providers, and then we had the good idea of expanding that to your care team. That might include your acupuncturist, your physical therapist, a massage therapist, other care providers who might also know other breast cancer survivors. So we made, well, let's kind of give you the rundown. Oh, I forgot, I'm a caller and I forgot to hit my stopwatch. Sorry. So we made a photo postcard, two-sided, and asked members to deliver them in person. This was kind of before it was easy to get an email address for your doctor. So the in-person invitation, even if you had to leave it at the front desk, make sure it got there. We after people RSVP'd, we would contact them with information about where to park, who would meet them in the parking lot with a pink vest for them to wear, the kind of clothing to wear, that kind of thing. On the day of, they arrived in a parking lot marked by hot pink balloons, and some of our paddlers put them in our old race vests, which were pink. We call them our guest vests. So we thought that would create a good photo opportunity. A memento of the day. They signed waivers, met people, mixed and mingled, and then team leaders organized our guests and our returning paddlers into two teams, just kind of balancing for weight and height and that kind of stuff. And then we marched down to the dock and loaded up boats. At that time, they got some instruction about safety, what to do in the unlikely event of a water landing. Some vocabulary, what words they might hear their caller or tiller say. And then we pushed off. And it was a beautiful sunny day, as you'll see in the photos. We did a warm-up, we did a drill, and then we had a water break, and we had pre-planned speakers, people who had a story to tell about lymphedema, or why this team was important to them. So on each boat, there were speakers. We were kind of far apart so everybody could talk. We asked them to talk to their benchmate, who usually was their patient, or then we went paddles up and paddled some more. Stopped again for a water break and more talking. And then we asked them if they might like to race. So the two teams lined up and we did like a 200-meter race so they could feel the adrenaline and hear the loudness of the paddlers next to them and just kind of get a feel for what that was like. Phew! Then they were very excited. We taught them how to do a paddle salute, paddled again for a little while, and then we talked about some of our traditions, including remembering past survivors, or not past team members, our pink angels. And we laid flowers on the water, introduced them to that tradition as well, and paddled back to the dock where, as you can see, there were photo opportunities. They could leave with brochures, Pink Phoenix posters, swag for their office. In the first year, we didn't have a prescription pad, but I'm going to steal somebody's idea to include a QR code on that prescription pad. Tracy's, the event is now named after the woman in the pink vest with her doctor, Dr. Sue there. Tracy loved jelly beans during chemo, so I think that's in the next picture, is the prescription bottle of jelly beans that everybody got to take away. And there's a warning on the label that says dragon boating has been known to have an addictive nature. You should not paddle unless you expect to have fun, find a new support group amongst friends, and get wet. Rain gear and drinking water on a regular basis is highly recommended. So just for fun, the jelly beans continue to this day. I think that's all I wanted to say about it, but getting your provider in the boat has been great fun. The downside for us, 2025 will be our 10th year doing that. So for old members like me, we really don't have anybody left to invite. They've come, if they were interested, they came. So we kind of rely on our new members who are, newly enthusiastic to bring their providers on board. Thanks. I'll be happy to take questions later too.
Yeah, Meg, thank you. I'm part of Pink Phoenix too. I just wanted to add that we shared this idea with the Western regional teams a couple of years ago, and LA Pink Dragons adopted this and had, I think, their first event 2 years ago. What was really cool for us was be able to share that Tracy's idea had spread to LA with her family last year when they came. Her family, her mom and sister and niece and nephew always join us. And for us to share that with them, that really made an impact to them. And just to know that Tracy's idea was bringing joy and bringing new paddlers in a boat elsewhere other than Portland, Oregon. So anyway, that's how I found the team, with the provider paddle. So.
Oh, it totally worked. Thanks, Annette.
That's awesome, Meg. You did a fabulous job. What a great idea. So now I will stop sharing the screen. We've got the slides, so then we can become Hollywood squares and see everyone's beautiful faces from around the US. And then we will open it up, and that's going to facilitate that. Questions in the chat, and then we'll get to then, if anyone has any extra. Paula, my buddy from Unleash, I just saw her. She's my new friend. We were on an amazing team in Unleash. I just had to say that. She's so cute. So Annette, it's all you, okay?
Great presentation. Lots of great ideas. I love that we share. We often say the only time we really compete against each other is maybe if we're in a festival, but it's okay to share all the good ideas all of the smart women in a dragon boat come up with across the country. So Mary, we had a couple of questions for you. One person asked, where did you get your tablecloth with your logo on it?
I ordered it through a company. I think it's called Tablecloths. I can put it up or send it on the, let me see if I can find it as an invoice on my phone.
Okay, well, as you're looking, we had another question. Do most of the organizations you approach let you sign up for your tape without charging you a table fee?
Not at all of these places did not charge us a table fee. Occasionally, there was one that we needed to bring a gift because it was for our cancer support group and caregivers, and they wanted to have gifts to give away. So that was the only thing we've ever been requested to bring in as far as, paying for anything. So it's all been wonderful, free.
Yeah, that's awesome. Free is good. Free is fabulous. Question.
Yes.
Also, what kind of things, when you talked about giveaways, and this could be out to the other presenters as well, what type of giveaways are inexpensive and motivating?
What we have done several of these. The Minnesota State Fair this past year was such a huge undertaking, and with thousands of people coming through. So we have a vendor that is actually related to one of our members. That's such a beautiful thing, isn't it? So we got pencils with our name on it, and then we also had sunscreen because it was the Minnesota State Fair and they were all going to be in the sun. So we gave them sunscreen with our logo and our information on the back. This past couple of years, we actually have been making something that we give away. It's a butterfly on a stick, and we connect our business card with our mission statement on it, and also the fact that a butterfly is a symbol of resilience, that you can go through something difficult and can come out stronger. So we give anyone that stops at our table, we give them that. So they take home a butterfly that they stick in a pot and remember us, and they also have information about who we are.
At each of our paddle events, when we register the paddlers, we provide them with a plastic water bottle that just happens to have all our logo on it and our contact information. So they're stuck with it. And we always need water bottles. And it's amazing how many of these individuals will come back for our Connect sessions and they all have their water bottles.
Oh, I have the information about our tablecloth. It's called Table Covers Now. And it's just, I think it's the national provider, and I just sent them our logo. They're really good about working with me about colors and how we wanted it to look. And so they were the people that we went through. And occasionally they have times when there's discounts. So I watched for that, and then that's who helped us with that.
Great. Awesome. For those of you that held events not on the water, in a place, whether it was a room, question about where did you hold these events, and also who received invitation to your events? That would be to Roxanne and to, I'm sorry, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Aylin or Eileen?
Aylin.
Aylin. Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me go ahead. We did it at the YMCA. And the thing is, our vision was we could have had another, like a Moose Lodge or something, but this is a multi-objective event. First of all, it's putting our name out there. We wanted to be somewhere where people were passing by so they can stop and come in. Even if they don't, they're going to see us and recognize our name. And as you know, the more you see something, first time doesn't catch, second time, third time, sometimes they're like, oh, I heard about that somewhere. So it's a brand familiarity. So we wanted to have somewhere with traffic. And the YMCA was generous enough. Although we were forced to do it in October, I didn't want to do because we were competing with a lot of other events, and that's why we couldn't get people. But they said, hey, we can give you a free conference room with all the electronics and all the bells, a lot of things, but in October. So they didn't charge anything, and it was good. We didn't market it properly. Like I said, we took this together in 3 months. So, and the marketing is usually, we're just relying on social media, word of mouth, and some offices. So that's where we are. We're exploring where we're going to do it next year. Not sure whether we're going to do it there or somewhere else.
I love all the things that you incorporated, the chair yoga, other things, those are potential ambassadors to spread the message as well, much like a provider paddle. But your event is reaching other professions that may not necessarily be conventional when it comes to breast cancer activities, but certainly connected with them. So thank you. Megan,
Selfish thing. Those are the things I want. I thought about what would I want to do. So it was
yes,
a little
exactly.
selfish.
No, those excellent. Meg, a question about how long was the provider paddle and what day of the week or time gives you the best turnout?
We chose a Saturday. So we have a morning practice on Saturdays, so team members could practice, go to breakfast, help set up, run to the parking lot to greet guests. I believe it is about 90 minutes with a check-in, a physical warm-up and cool down before going to the dock, and then about an hour on the water.
Great. Thank you. I know that that was in September?
It's varied. The
varied.
first few times we held it in May, so we were using our very sturdy Gauchong boats, which come out once a year for our Rose Festival. People can feel really safe and secure in those big boats, but they are hard to move.
Yes, they are.
It can be done any time of the year. When you are confident that you'll have good weather, and we can joke about, there's no bad weather, just bad gear. But to give them a full happy experience, a sunny day, if you can guarantee that, go for it.
Great. A lot of the presenters and a lot of you participants are actually putting some great things in the chat about giveaways. So check the chat room there. Emery boards, keychains with logos. That's enough. If you have a resource that you get your trinkets, please email what your national rep. We'd like to include a resource in the reference guide that Elizabeth spoke about. We can never have too many contacts in terms of vendors. So Roxanne, I know you have a question.
Well, I just wanted to show you all something really cutesy. This little keychain, can you see it? It's a dragon, and these are actually made. This one was actually made by an 8-year-old kid. We could be getting in trouble for purchasing them if labor laws and all that. But his parents they're responsible for that. But we're going to be purchasing our key ring to attach to it, so that this would be something we would be giving away as well.
Right.
It's like, it's cute.
That's great. Keeping it local. Meg endorses that as well, using local resources where you can. Thank you, Laura.
That local shop that prints your tablecloth could become a sponsor.
That's right. Great. Laura also put in the chat, morning TV shows during Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a great tool also to get the word out. Thank you, Laura. That's a good idea. And I don't think I have any other questions, but Elizabeth, you want to take it from here?
I text you the question, Annette.
Oh.
For those who did the prescription pads, did you actually, I tried Googling, like, did you use the actual vendors and companies that doctors and nurses use to do that? I wasn't sure, would the companies do that, or do you just, go to your regular Kinko's, or what did you do on that? Because I love that. We do brochures, but even that, they can be very expensive. I think the RX pads may be a little more inexpensive too, which we're all looking for. So the two teams, I think, that said they do RX pads.
I think it was Linda and Meg talked about that.
It's a local print shop.
Yeah.
We had a pharmacist on our team for a while, and I think she was helpful with the pill bottles and the prescription pad.
And we used a local print shop as well, the one that does our brochures. So anybody who prints pads of paper, you need someone to do a cute design though, because you wouldn't want to do it the way I did it up on that screen with just Word. Yeah, but someone with a little design skills could make it really clever. And it was relatively cheap. We had them for years. And you know, there's like 100 pages in each little pad too, so it goes far. We used to keep it down by our shed as well, so when people went by and we ran out of brochures, we could just rip off a sheet and hand that to them as well. So it's we began handing them to everybody, so when anybody asks, give that person the contact information. So it's a nice handy thing to have to spread the word.
Sharon asked if we know if anybody used the prescription pads. No, we didn't.
I don't
follow
know
up to
about the
ask.
doctors who did, but I know we did. I never I'm assuming they did. My medical oncologist who was on the team, she says she did, but she was a true believer. So I'm not sure.
I do think that PAs and nurses are a great avenue, because I think at one of our provider paddles, we had 7 paddlers had shared the same PA. So that was kind of a coincidence. So anyway, Julie has a question.
Canva can be used to design things fairly simply. I don't know, out of all these people, somebody ought to be able to put Canva together. And I've been using it. I'm not exactly thrilled with it, but I've been forced to be the only one who can do a brochure or a business card for our entire club. So I'm gonna try it because it's at this point it's free for me because I've already paid for it. But Canva seems to work because you can download it into a PDF and you can send it off to Kinko's. So that seems to help.
Well,
Now I don't know how to get rid of that hand.
yeah. Kinko's and Staples will do the same thing. You'll have to pay, but
Yeah.
sure, somebody on your team has some sort of skills or has a child who has those kind of skills.
Yeah.
You need someone with a program. It wouldn't take that long as you had your logo and your information all ready for them.
Right.
Yeah, I would go for who knows somebody first before I'd pay for it, but you can easily have it done at Staples or Kinko's.
I have a lead that I found after this invitation came. We are kind of keep a tab on the Livestrong program. I don't know whether you know it, the YMCA Livestrong program. So our members have been going there. And I said, okay, let me go too. And I realized there were 4 people coming from a physical therapist office. So I paid them a visit, of course. Hello, you send people, can you send more? And who is, and then that led to an oncologist who is a proponent of like work out, be active, move over cancer. So Livestrong is a great resource pool to, send one member each term, just not everybody at the same time, so they can figure out who's there, where are they coming from, how they heard it. I was even thinking about reaching out, maybe the organization can reach out to Livestrong to see whether there's a collaboration between all the breast cancer survivor teams all together and Livestrong. I don't know. I'm known as gold inflation, so here I go. That's all.
Well, thank you, ladies. I think this was such a productive hour. We're a few minutes over, but we started a little late when you got to let in about 45 of us. But again, we will, I'll share the slides. We'll share the reference guide that we're starting. And then we will share also the link to the video and share it, who you feel would benefit from your organization. And hopefully we all took away one new idea. And I know our team did too, and they were just fabulous, all the ideas submitted. So thank you for taking time today to better our, our sport and our Dragon Boat team. So kudos to all of you for being here too.
Yeah, good to see everybody. Thanks. Aloha.
Thank you for putting this together.
Thanks,
Good to see you,
Elizabeth.
ladies.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Elizabeth,
Thank you,
Yeah.
and
Gail.
all the
It's
leaders,
wonderful.
Bye.
all
Thank
the
you.
organizers.
Yep.
Yes, thanks, reps.
Super.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.